Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to Endless Legend. Barbarian hordes are approaching and closing in on my territory, and I am being surrounded by infidels that try to steal what is rightfully mine, that being the everything. Either way, today is actually a new day both for me and for you, and by the time you see this video, there are two options possible. Either A, Endless Legend is not out yet, but it will be out in a few hours, so keep a look on the Steam, alright? Or option B, Endless Legend is out, so go and have a look at it. I'm not saying go and buy it, because keep in mind, let the buyers beware, this is an early access version of the game. It may have problems, it may have bugs, it is unfinished obviously, so you need to make sure that you know what you're signing up for. Regardless though, however, I think that most of you are very excited to see this game. Just to remind you, it is going to go live today on... give me a second, yeah, that's 7 PM Central European time. That's when the game will go live. Obviously in its early access stage. But either way, we've talked about this, and now I can just talk about what is happening right now. First of all, hello there boys! Yeah, that's the Jotun, also known as the Etin, also known as something else. Those guys used to be overpowered. Now I'm not sure if they are still. Hopefully yes, because I like them. But anyway, I'm pretty sure they used to be able to attack twice in a 10. I'm not sure if that's still possible. I haven't had the opportunity to actually try them, because I have fairly bad luck finding them, which is annoying because I want to, you know, have them because they're awesome looking. Either way, it looks like the voters are actually thinking more seriously about attacking my newly conquered city and retaking it. They only have a bunch of marines in this first Iron Legion, so I'm not terribly worried about that, but if they merge it with the Stone Legion, they'll have a fairly powerful ranged army. They don't have anything to support them. If they did, then I would see those units over here displayed instead of the marines. I would see that they have cavalry or something. Or the giants. The voters do have their own giants that are made of metal, because why not? But either way, I do not see any of those. So if I can attack those guys with a bunch of infantry, like my 10 walkers, I should be able to win if I get favorable initiative. Either way, right now I only have one major army, and this army is actually going to have to engage against the necro, which I need to do. Necro are being a pain in my A, and I will need to just kill them, as simple as that. Let's hold position. I've got 4 rangers and 2 10 walkers. 10 walkers will suffer some major damage, but between them and the 4 rangers, I think I'll do quite alright, honestly. I just do not see the enemy being able to stand their ground against such a powerful ranged army, especially considering the fact that I also have my hero, which I'll gladly use to secure my left flank. And then I'll move my 10 walkers into position to defend the front. Now, if somebody attacks me from the side, I am in a very bad spot. So what I'm thinking about doing... I mean, I don't want to walk any more closer to the enemy. The reason being that then they would be able to gang up on my 10 walkers even easier. So there is a slight problem. I probably want to stay here, but this means that my side is awfully exposed and will probably collapse under pressure. I will possibly have to move my 10 walkers to the side, but then they will not be able to defend the front. That's why actually you want to have some divers in your army every now and again, so that you have this mobility of smaller, weaker units that can cover your sides. Obviously you have to remember, right now I can only have 6 units in my army. I didn't reach the tech that would allow me to get anything more than that. Either way, all my units are going to hold their ground, which is fine, and the enemy, some of the enemy necrons will be able to make it to 1 turn, some of them will not. My more damaged walker is actually on low ground, which is not what I was hoping for, but either way it's okay. Now the cool thing is those 10 walkers completely shut down anybody that tries to come through the front. Reason being that they stun the enemies, and keep in mind, stun disables the unit for a 10, which is a very powerful ability, of course, and it is what is going to make sure that no enemies can attack me from the front. I mean, they can try, but they will fail in being anywhere successful. But I can already see enemy converting on my flank, so AI is being smart, or maybe it's just a shorter route. Either way, I'm not particularly happy about this affair. Anyway, finally my archers are going to be able to open fire, but I think my flank may be under attack by the end of this turn, which will be a problem. I'll be able to kill some of the necro. That's 1 unit, and that's probably it for the casualties. I'll not be able to kill anybody else. I will weaken this unit, which is good. This will weaken the assault on my flank, Well, only slightly. Keep in mind, as we have learned before, necro drones are absolute beasts, and they really are the backbone of the necro drones army. Not necro drones, necrophages army, because necrophages want to use necro drones as their main unit, and in the back they want to have their spitty, vomity, wormy thingies that can take mind control over the unit, which is nasty indeed. Anyway, I don't want to move my weekend Tanner Walker to the side because he will die. However, my other walker will not have enough movement point to actually get there. So what I will do is move this Tanner Walker over here, and right now in this alpha version you cannot actually tell your units to walk to your other unit's area, which is slightly annoying, but it is something that we'll have to just deal with. I'm tempted to let this guy go into defense mode, but I'm not sure what he will plan to do. He might do something really stupid, so I would rather not do anything of the sort. Do I want to back away some of my archers, at least a little bit? Yes, they should still have fairly decent range, regardless of where they are, so I'm going to back them off ever so slightly, and also move this guy over here, I guess. I cannot move my hero just yet, because as I told you, I cannot target any hexes where my units stand. So anyway, this Tanner Walker is going to cover my side. He will die, there's no doubt about that, but at the very least he's not going to be in too much of a trouble. Now, unfortunately, my initiative made me kill the guy that was stunned, so he was useless anyway, so that's a little bit of a problem. The enemy may go past my Tanner Walker, hopefully he will not, hopefully they will attack the Tanner Walker and get stunned, and oh, very nice critical strike. There was also something else I meant to mention. Alright, yeah, I remember what. You can now, you know how you can see this initiative line and also sets of all your units during the combat phase and during the deployment phase. You cannot, during planning phase I mean. You cannot see that during the deployment phase, as you have probably noticed by now. But this is a planned feature that will be added as soon as possible from what I know, because this is something I actually pointed out to the devs. So they replied saying that, yeah, it is coming, it's not here yet, but it will come, don't worry. So there's that, and oh, they actually killed the Tanner Walker in a single hit. This is pretty bad, this is really bad in fact, especially since all the guys that are stunned are also dead. So, while the stun ability on Tanner Walkers is really nice, it only works against those really beefy units, like other giants. For example, the Metal Dude, whatever his name is, from the Vultures. Tanner Walkers are really good giant killers, but they're good against everything else as well. I mean, they are giants. But they can fall under pressure if the enemy has too many units, so that's a little bit of a problem for the Tanner Walkers. And that's why you want to support them with some kind of quicker units, or units that are just better at killing of smaller armies. And this kind of unit could be the Ericus, that excel destroying a large amount of smaller units. Rumblers could do this as well, I'm not gonna lie, Rumblers would be a pretty good choice, all things considered. If you remember, Rumblers are the Ursus that I have in my home region. Those guys that, you know, the small guys that are like half as tall as my Tanner Walker. But the problem with Ramblers is that as a minor faction, what they give you is just reduced industry cost of your things, which you shouldn't care and worry about as a Wild Walker. So I think that Ericus is just a better idea in general, because they give you a very nice Empire bonus, and they fulfill the role that you need to fulfill. Obviously, the disadvantage being, I thought I gave this girl this ability, whatever. Obviously the disadvantage with the Ericus is that the Ericus, just like Tanner Walkers, cost a lot of resources, so you may not be able to have as many of them as you want. Now, I'm starting to use this here offensively, so I kinda wish I had gone for the offensive tree, but unfortunately I cannot do this right now. I mean, I could start, but it's not exactly what I want to go for. I would much rather just increase my production even further. So let's go for Behemoth Tamer and then move on to the Natural Architect, and I'll put this hero into my best city, which is the Conquered City of the Vultures. So there's that. The siege has ended. So there's that. My units, however, are severely damaged, and I'll need to back off into a city, unfortunately. Which is not what I want to do, but I can see that there is another army heading my way, and I need to heal my units if at all possible. Alright, let's assign my hero. She's actually blocked for 2 turns. That's a shame, but whatever, I can deal with that. Anyway, my secondary city is actually working as hard as it can. And, oh wow, the approval bonus actually... Okay, so it's just a display back. It says they have approval bonus, but in fact, the game is not dumb, it notices that I have horrible approval and it lowers my production by 133, which is a lot. And I cannot actually increase this happiness in any way, shape or form now. Unless I ban one of my cities, which I'm going to lose anyway. And this would be actually fairly good, because this would mean that I'll lose a little bit more happiness as a result of everybody everywhere. So that's something I should actually watch out for, because I thought that the sewer systems right now just are flat out broken and do not work. Turns out I was actually wrong. Anyway, do I want to keep growing population in my home city? I kinda do, so let's actually... I'll continue making rangers in the city, but I only want to make one of them per 10, so I'll move enough population to do just that. That's almost that, and that is it. So I only need 7 workers to have a ranger pattern, which is good enough for me, and the 2 others are going to work on food, which is a nice combo. I do have 2 units that I can send to reinforce one of my armies, and I'll probably send it to GG Nore to form a south army that can defend Kwang, which at this point I'm seriously going to just ban. I don't want to give it to the enemy. Sure, it is giving me titanium, but no, I'm going to ban it. Titanium is nice, but I'll much rather ban the city than let the enemy have it. And I'll see if the enemy just decides to ignore my boar warriors. I don't think they will, but at least they give me some more scouting information. So more riders are coming. As I said many times before, I'm not terribly afraid of the riders. I can, however, see that they have some upgraded weapons. Those hammers are not standard equipment for the riders, so they may actually be a little bit more intimidating than they usually are. So that's a little bit of a problem. Tundra is just doing its own thing, but its disapproval is lowering its production? Not yet. Right, 40% is not meant to give you any bonus or malus, so it's still okay. Apparently this Satan actually thinks it's happy, which is kind of weird. Maybe my empire is actually also unhappy, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I will need a sewer system no matter what. I'm pretty sure we have come to this conclusion. And it also goes to my second city, so I'll go for sewer system before borough streets, because keep in mind, borough streets do lower your approval. Anyway, this city doesn't need more population. Yeah, but I want to be able to make the sewer system in 2 turns if possible, so let's continue moving my population until it takes 3 turns to make a sewer system. I can keep moving it, I can still keep moving, and now I cannot. Alright, so 3 population working on industry is going to be good enough. Anything else I need to worry about? Fish farm is going to be ready in 110, but right now I have bigger problems than just worrying about fish farms, honestly. So there is that. Sorting the F in Kwang. Sorry Kwang, you were nice, but I don't want you anymore. Now, can I sign a peace treaty with one of the factions I'm at war with? Who do I want to sign a peace treaty with? Preferably Necrophages, because they are the scary dudes that are actually dangerous. I mean, sure, right now, the combined forces of Boker Lords and Vultures will be able to take on Kwang, and maybe even go dangerously deep inside my territory of my home provinces, but as I said, my army is the superior, I'm not afraid of them, and I have better production capacities. Meanwhile, the Necrophages, they can send more armies that are actually very powerful because they're Necrophages. That's what they're designed to do, conquer. That's the whole idea behind the faction. So, as a result, I think what I need to do simply is just see what I can do to make them sign a truce with me. So let's have a quick look. I can actually demand stuff from them, which would be hilarious, but it will also cost me influence, which I could spend... no, that's their influence. What do I have? How much influence do I have? 109, so that's barely enough for a truce. Let's make an offer. And they didn't take it, right. Right now, if you try to do something, the game doesn't give me a feedback if this went through or not. But obviously, as I can see, those guys don't care about truce at all. I'm tempted to go for a truce with at least the Broken Lords. I mean, sure, riders are not very scary, but they are there, and they will be annoying. They will damage my units, and I don't want this to happen. Besides, there are more units coming, and I'm afraid there might be some reinforcements. So, let's see if the Broken Lords will be okay with a truce. So, let's see. No. Okay, I'm even willing to go for the Vultures, but they have reasons to hate me, so don't expect this to work. No, nobody wants a truce with me. They want me dead. Fine, I'll just kill you all. It's really okay with me. The only sad thing is that I'll probably not be able to finish this series before the game is out. But that's okay. Anyway, I have actually fulfilled this quest. Wow, it was possible. Okay, I don't know if that's because I failed it all those times before, or if it just fixed itself now. It's hard to say. Regardless, I have finally beaten it and I gained survival instinct, which is decent. I will need this movement bonus, but it's not a very big deal. So there's that. War has sidelined my efforts, but it was a necessary cost, oh trust me it was, and nuclear is building your future, and I need to raise my city center old district to level 2, which is what I wanted to do, go away for a second, which is what I wanted to do, if you remember, in GG No Rare. Can I do this easily though? Well, I need to make 2 more borough streets in order to do just that. Or maybe 1, give me a second, maybe I can raise this one to... Well, no, because this is a borough streets. Yeah, no matter what I do, I will need 2 of those. Still raise my city to level 2. So it will be fairly difficult to fulfill this quest without making my people very unhappy. I will not make it in the capital because I will also need 2 more borough streets. And this will lower their approval by a lot, just like in my other cities, so I'm not too sure about that. Anyway, do you want to see this battle? Maybe you do want to see those guys in action. I want to see those guys in action. And I have a settler. Oh, when you burn a city you get a settler? That's actually very neat. Haha. Anyway, can I actually move this guy? No, because he is in a combat, he's acting as a reinforcement. So, I'll go into manual just because I want to show you guys those... Actually, they just fire arrows, I don't think there's anything you need to worry about. So let's go into auto, lost all my units, that's fine. Lost my settlers as well. And there's a giant army concentration down south that I'll need to march against and retaliate while I can. I'm not terribly worried about those warlords on my lands. I mean, if they do attack me, then I'll be in a pretty bad spot, but I don't think those guys have a very big army regardless. So let's focus on the reinforcing GG No Rare, because this is certainly a city that needs reinforcement. Meanwhile, can I do... I just need 1 more tech for the next era. So I need to go for some kind of tech that will help me a lot, and I'm thinking about going for watchtowers just to give me extra health regen near the watchtowers. So that's a fairly decent idea. Do I want to give my units more... accessory slots? I don't. Do I want to give them better weapons? Not necessarily. I mean, I'll go for better weapons in the next era because I have so much Palladian. Don't want to give them more experience when I'm making them? Possibly, but this will take a lot of resources to, you know, achieve. I think I'll just go for watchtowers, honestly. They will be useful, no matter how I look at it. Not very useful, but they'll be useful. So anyway, is there anybody on the marketplace? No, I'm starting to think that this is a bank because there are always... I've always seen a lot of units in the marketplace. It's possible that the AI is buying all of them out, but I seriously think that this is a bug by now because you are supposed to see at least the minor factions also sell units on the marketplace. So there should be some minor factions units on the marketplace. The fact that there are none is probably an indicative of the fact that there is a bug related to the marketplace, unfortunately, right now. It's okay, things like that happen, but it's mildly annoying. Alright, group population, El Tuldrai. Which is... Isn't that my destroyed city? No, it's my new city. Alright, it actually has 7 population. Wow! This city is fast. I have to give it that. So what do I want to go for next? Probably borough streets. It will lower its approval, but it will significantly increase the city's both defensive capabilities and production capabilities as well. So I think it's a very good idea. And then I will gain access to those river tiles, so I will have a reason to go for dust dredgers and fish farms as well. So that's a fairly good idea. Do you want to continue working on population? Considering my current war effort, no, I want to focus on production because I will need to make some pretty beastly units if I want to survive, honestly. I'm almost tempted to go for Silex, but this would be a wasted effort, so I'd rather not. I'm going to make a Tenor Walker first. So what I can do, it's costing me a lot of titanium, but sooner I'll start using Palladian in place of titanium, so I will not have to worry about titanium too much. I'll only use it when necessary. And I'll use Palladian for other equipment types. Alright, my units have healed up a little bit, but I'll let them stay in my city for a little bit longer because, as I said, they do heal faster while inside the city walls. So there's that. I'm not sure if I should actually continue making the borough streets because this will cost me some approval, but my city should still be more or less okay approval-wise, and this will make it easier for me to defend. This will give me a lot of extra food, which I, again, am happy about. Let's just continue growing the way I am. So there's that. How about GG No Rare? I'm trying to solidify my defenses, but the enemy is going to spread out right now. I think there's little doubt about that. But for now, I'm just going to kill those scouts because I might as well. I will not take any damage in this battle. I don't want to go more. I wanted to go for auto. And there's no reason for us to see this. I really meant to click on auto, I just didn't by accident, and that's okay. I should kill those guys very, very quickly regardless, and it should be a piece of cake. So yeah, Tenor Walker goes in first, it's going to stun the guy, he will not be able to attack next turn. My rangers finish him off, and that's the end of the battle. Actually, he may survive till the next salvo. It looks like he also has some kind of armor, because otherwise he would be dead already. But it doesn't matter. As you can see, standard enemies also don't retaliate, because they already used their retaliation. Retaliation system in this game works like in Heroes of Might and Magic, so you can retaliate once per each of your actions. So if you retaliated once in a 10, you have to wait until it's your 10 again to retaliate again. It's something you probably have noticed by now, but it's how it works. And when you do not retaliate, I'm pretty sure you also gain some kind of a defensive bonus. It's not a very big one though. I don't entirely remember that. I could be talking out of my A, I'll be entirely honest, but I think this is what happens. Alright, there is an army nearby. It's only one rider though. It is a scout. I could kill it. I might as well not do that. I think I'm going to instead send my rangers down south to keep reinforcing armies, because there's a lot of units heading over there. I don't think I need to send anything to Morsha. There's a very sensible army over there already. And sure, it will not be as sensible. It will not be as sensible as the army down south, in fact. And there are 2 cities up north that I need to defend. So I think I'm actually going to reinforce north with the reinforcements from my capital. Just because I need to make sure that my army is distributed evenly across areas. So there is that. I do hope that the enemy will settle another city over here, just so they exploit this titanium, and that then I can steal this titanium mine back. Back into my empire, so that I can use it. This would be very nice. But it doesn't look like this is what is going to happen just yet. Alright, my army, I'm just going to move it back to my city, because I don't want to I don't want those guys to be picked off, and they might actually be picked off because the enemy is fairly close. So what I'll do just in case is move this army, merge it with the other one, and make sure that if I get attacked, I'll at least have 5 units, which is more than enough to stop this assault. I'm also going to assign my hero to this city to increase its building capacities by a lot. My happiness increased by a little bit by the fact that I banned a city down. So now I'm not losing as much of industry as I was, but I'm still losing 178 just because of the approval status, which is insane. But there isn't much I can do about this. I don't need to have access to more happiness technology. I need to wait until era 3. In fact, right now, now that I'm thinking about it, I may actually want to go for something that would increase my science yield, because it would help me quite a bit. It's not the worst idea I ever had, but I don't know what city I'll do this in, because I do need to work on my military a lot. Alright, so let's think about it. Morsha, I probably want to keep growing it. I will give it mining rights. It has a decent amount of industry. It actually does not. It mostly focuses on food. I could actually make this food spiral out of control, in fact, so maybe I'll go for that. Morsha is of course the place where I can make devils for cheap, but I'm not using the devils right now at this moment, so I don't think it's necessary. Alright, let's end the turn. I think I can just continue growing my empire, keep trying to get this watchtower done. I really need to be ready, because then I'll reach era 3 and the wonderful things are going to start to happen. You know what, Morsha, after you're done with Borough Streets, I will actually move all of my units into science. Also in 2 turns I'll have more population, so I'll immediately move my people from food production into science, and then I'll move also my people from production into science, because I really do care about science right now. Okay, is this army good enough to actually launch a counter assault? With 2 10 walkers, I have limited capabilities of defending my rangers, so I'll probably wait until I have a 3rd 10 walker. So just for the time being, I'm going to hide inside a city. And keep in mind, this city is so ginormous that I can easily deploy most, if not all of my units inside the Borough Streets. I think I will actually be able to deploy all of them, which is kinda incredible. Of course, they will not be in the optimal positions, but at least I'll be able to use them all, so that's something. Now, there are no rivers as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, there are no rivers nearby, so I don't need to make those kind of things in capital. I could make another glass steel extractor. I have not been using a lot of glass steel lately, though. So I think it could be a better idea to just simply go for steel houses and use in my other cities. So I'll do that, but what I also do is move my population to science production, because I do want to focus on science as much as possible so I can get to era 3 and research era 3 techs at a possibly fast pace. Hopefully fast pace, whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's not move my units inside a city. Instead, I'm going to move my units outside a city. And actually, 1 10 walker protecting so many rangers is probably not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is leave 2 of those rangers inside the city, Move this army over here, merge it with the army that came over here. So those two rangers are going to stay here and defend the city. This army is going to walk towards Stuldry and then get reinforcement of additional 10 walker that is being made over there. So then I'll have some kind of decent defensive bonus with this with the 2 10 walkers that will be shared between them. That should be enough to stop the necrophages, which as I can see are probably launching another assault on my territory. Now I have a lot of dust. I will be able to buy out this 10 walker fairly quickly, especially once it starts being produced. But I cannot do this just yet, so I am hoping for not maybe a miracle, but I'm hoping to gain some kind of bonus soon. Alright, more Jotuses are heading my way, or whatever they're called now. Let's call them Athens. I guess we could call them wolf-like Athens. And yep, those are necrophages. They're still ignoring my Tudrai city though. And just because that is the case, I'm tempted to retreat back to Morsia. I will need a 10 walker though, I really will. Alright, my units are safe for the time being near Morsia, so I guess that is good enough. Let us... Actually, you know what? I could make a dredger. He's cheap and he would provide me with the protection I need against the flyers. So let's just make a dredger. I'm fine with that. Actually, I could retrofit him slightly because I am not using Glacier or anything of the line. Of the sort, so I could give him something decent like Ring for extra protection. Sharp Sense is good against range attacks. Improved critical is improved critical, and confidence. Confidence is actually really good because it increases your defense against melee units when they attack you. So that's decent, but I think it doesn't beat the Ring, which would increase my everything by a decent amount. And I have a lot of glass steel floating, so I guess I'll go for that. What else do you want? The best armor I can possibly get, honestly, right now on this unit, so I'll go for everything I can that costs glass steel. Since I have a lot of glass steel anyway, I might as well. They have tier 2 weapons. I do have tier 2 weapons. I don't think I want to use them necessarily, but I'm actually using tier 1s. What? Seriously? This dumb? Whatever. Let's go for for this kind of hammer. I swear I was using it before. Maybe a save file helped me over and I stopped using it. That's possible. I'm pretty sure I checked for the other weapons though and I didn't want to use them. So those guys are a bit more beefy now. They should be able to survive a bit more damage coming my way. And where's the steel I'm making those in? Yeah, so those dredgers, they are dredgers fury, right? They updated it. No, they did not. That's a little bit of a bummer, but I'll be able to retrofit them for money soon enough. That's okay. It's a shame I didn't think to retrofit them before buying them out. But things like that happen. Sometimes you just are stupid, especially if you are me. Anyway, next then I'll actually advance to the next era. Do you want to go ahead and greet this army? I probably do. I should be able to take it. It's also just 2 units. I do not want to wait for my 10 walker. He would make it a very easy fight, but I still should be able to win it decisively. No matter what. And I actually may not be able to catch up to the enemy, annoyingly enough, because of those guys that, you know, made me waste some movement points on walking past them, which is fairly annoying. You just stay here and do nothing, and the 10. And I'll see what happens. I discard more luxuries, that's very, very nice, because that's what I needed, and I'm in era 3. The Age of Enlightenment. And actually, OMG, those necrophages made it. How? I have no idea. Anyway, as you can see, in Era 3 you gain access to obviously tier 3 iron weapons. Your units have more experience when they are produced. You discover more luxuries, and those are actually very good. Those are the kind of luxuries that are flat out better than your standard luxuries in every way possible. So, Blood Crystal it's just classy. It's Blood Crystal. Grass Silk, I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm pretty sure. What does it improve? I think it improves happiness? I could be wrong though. No, Moonleaf does. One of the two, I don't remember. Moonleaf looks beautiful, and I can already see that I have access to it. I'll show you in a second. Titan Bones and the Quicksilver are also fairly nice, and I can now use Palladian. So that's nice. I don't care about this fight, but I do care about this one. If I could, I would love to retreat, because I'm going to lose. I only have 1 10 walker, and even with 4 rangers, I will not be able to stand my ground. I will be able to deal some decent amount of damage, but that's about it. So, there's the Moonleaf. That's actually fairly good. I will want to explore that as soon as possible. I can't believe I was dumb enough to keep my units over there. I should have backed away. There's also some adamantium deposit. That's good, but I'll not worry about that just yet because I have so much palladium. Speaking of which, there's even more palladium over here, as if I needed that. Alright, let's have a quick look. Are there any other resources that I have discovered nearby? Let's see. Oh yeah, Titan Balls actually. I haven't seen them a lot, but yeah, they are actually right there. Yeah, you can actually exploit them. I don't remember what they gave them. I was never able to gather a big quantity of those things. So there's that. Strategic resources discovered. A lot of those as well, so that's nice. So first things first, let's have a quick look at Era 3 tech, because I know you want to. First of all, there's plenty of approval. This thing is insane. Central market, 30 approval. This will fix all my approval problems right now. This expansion disapproval city reduction, also very useful. Both of those are technologies that I'll try to get ASAP. Now, you can also improve your watchtowers to lookout towers, which makes them just better. They give you more vision, they heal up better, heal units better and whatnot. You can assimilate another manufacturer, which I desperately want, so I'll do this very, very quickly. You can also go for extra influence, which is useful, but it's not something that I'll rush. And you can also stockpile science, and there are more things like that. I honestly am not sure why you would want to stockpile science, because, yeah, but you can stockpile science. Maybe there's a reason I just was yet to discover it. And also you can discover a lot of other things, like Imperial Coinage is actually one of the better ones as well. Era 3 has a lot of good techs, but Imperial Coinage allows you to trade resources, not only buy them, but also sell them. So for example, if there's something I don't want to use, like, I kind of want to use all of this. Oh, actually no, I don't want to use emeralds because they're not working yet. So if I research Imperial Coinage, I can actually sell those emeralds and gain quite a bit of gold for this. Obviously the more I sell something, the cheaper it gets, so, and less, but since I'm right now earning nothing from emeralds anyway, I might as well sell them. So what do I go for first? Happiness. This is what I'm struggling with Dimballs right now. And what do I go for second? Probably... it's a tough choice between either going for better alloys, because I have so much palladium I want to use it, or being able to assimilate a new manufacturer, and I think that alloys are more important for me right now. Being able to use palladium in my bows, oh, this is going to be so sick, you have no idea. I cannot wait for that. So let's go for that. I know that some production has been finished, and let's start with the enjoyable part that I'm going to win, that's why I call it enjoyable. So those Marines will reinforce this army that I'm about to fight, but it's not a very big reinforcement. Marines are very, very weak, unless they have been buffed recently, but even if they have, I'm pretty sure they are meant to be weak. They are meant to be weaker than most other tier 1 units, so I don't see myself having too many problems with that. Anyway, do I want to move one of my 10 workers up? Yes, because I'll basically just try to walk... No, I wasn't ready! Ah, I misclicked! Why do I misclick? I'm misclicking like every game ever in existence, even if it's turn-based. I wanted to move my units more forward. Oh well, I didn't. And I'll have to bear the consequences. Anyway, I guess I'll try to... Let's focus further on the manufacturing units, because they are way more scary than the Marines could possibly be. I can't believe I misclicked. This is such an infuriating scenario to be in. Oh well. At least those guys are walking forward a little bit, so it will not be all that bad. And now they're going to fire. Now I'm curious to see, do they still have the double shot ability? No. Which is just a shame. I wanted those guys to be overpowered. Seriously, be overpowered. I want it to be. Anyway, they actually didn't take a lot of damage from my tenant walkers at all, which is quite impressive, I have to admit. And they are now striking with crossbows, because hey, why not? According to the lore text of this manufacturer, they are not very intelligent creatures. They're kind of intelligent, but their society mostly runs on fear, and that's about it. If you can call that a society. Either way, they are a really cool creature, and I want it to be better, because the reason why they're meant to be overpowered in my eyes is because their faction, the Emperor bonus you get from assimilating those guys is absolutely pathetic. It gives you +1 vision and slightly more vision if you assimilate more of the villagers, which is pathetic! Compared to all the other bonuses you can get from all the other factions, you need something better. And that can be made up for with those units being very, very powerful. But that is not the case, because it doesn't look like they're doing very well against me at all. Obviously, it's possible that the voters didn't retrofit them. That could be a case. But I would still expect them to do way more damage to my units. I mean, that's fair. They are doing fairly poorly. All things considered. In fact, I haven't seen voters do any damage to me so far. I need to check this, because it feels like they didn't actually deal any damage to me as of yet. I need to watch, keep a close eye on it, because it's kind of strange. Alright, let's launch it again, see what is going to happen continuously. How else is going to damage me at all? But those guys weren't able to because they had no counterattack. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I mean, right now they cannot counterattack me, remember, because they already used the counterattack. Besides, they are stunned, so that's another thing. They cannot regain their counterattack as well. And the enemy is dead. So, but it feels like the enemy didn't do any damage to me. Not like they dealt little. It feels like they dealt nothing. Straight. I've seen that before happen. Not too often, but I have seen it, so I wonder why this is. Regardless, I'm not going to complain. This battle was easy. Now this one is going to be tough. As in, seriously, the enemy has a big advantage. I only have one half-dead 10 walker. I obviously got to hold position, and I'll try to fight in a choke point where I can possibly stop the enemy from going through. But this will be tough. I'm not gonna lie, I'm almost certain I'm going to lose this fight. I'll try to retreat to the higher ground, in fact, with my rangers whenever possible. Right, so let's deploy like so. My turn is first, but I don't have range to the enemies anyway, so what I'm going to do is retreat slightly so that I can stay on high ground, but I'm a little bit further away from the enemy. You obviously also go to high ground, you go to high ground, and this should be okay. The 10 walker just stand there and tank the damage. He'll do fairly poorly, I'm afraid. I mean, you've seen how powerful the Necrophages are. I can do little in order to stop those things from absolutely murdering this guy. And that's the downside of 10 walkers. As I said, those guys are absolutely amazing. One-on-one, they'll take every other unit in the game head on. I'm pretty certain that is the case. Maybe in some scenarios they would have some difficulties, but they're meant to kill everything in one-on-one scenario. And that's good. That's how they're meant to be played. But against such a big army of really solid units of Necrodrones, he is just going to fall flat on his face. Sure, he almost killed this army in one shot, and this legion is now stunned, so it will never do anything useful again. But I have no more retaliation, so I'll just get swarmed and killed, slowly but surely. So that's 24 damage. He will not die this time. I don't think the enemy has enough movement to actually get to me, although now I cleared the path for some other Necrodrones to finish my guy off. So he may actually die, as simple as that, and that's my only defensive unit of this battle. So my rangers are going to die. I'll try to keep offensively retreating them, if at all possible, so that then I will be able to keep them alive for a little bit longer this next turn. That critical was really necessary. I'm very happy it happened, so now the enemy only has 4 units. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to die. There's no doubt about that, and that is actually the battle limit. I cannot retreat any further. That's actually something that's been changed in this patch, I just noticed. You couldn't see so clearly that the battle had this kind of limit before. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case at the very least. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help me. I will go to this high ground so that I'm a little bit more protected, but there's really not much I can do at this point. This guy, I think I'm just going to stay here. Is there anybody I want to focus on? Possibly. I think I'm going to focus on this guy because that's the only guy 10 ranger will be able to walk towards to and actually kill at the same time. So actually looks like I may also have the high ground advantage if I walk over here. So I told him to walk over here and he'll automatically attack this guy. And this army should just die. And I know I don't have to make my rangers attack it. I could attack something else because those guys will be stunned and will be useless anyway. But since I'm probably going to lose this fight anyway, I will just want to kill as many units as I can. Then again, maybe things are not as bad as I've seen them, because keep in mind I can deal a lot of damage with my rangers. So I'll try to weaken this guy as well. And this guy, I'll just, make sure that he is not in the combat by stunning him. And actually it does, yeah, no matter what, I'll enter low ground once I step off this platform. So, okay, that's fine. I'll just step down and stun one of those guys. To make sure that they are knocked out of the battle. I will die during this, most likely. Those Necrodrones will, they were able to kill my guy, but the unit is stunned, so that's at the very least something, and I can open fire on the other remaining drones that can attack me. This Necrodrone is probably too far away to actually deal any damage to me whatsoever. This one will be snapped, this one will be damaged, but will be still capable of destroying my rangers. I may win this. I have a fairly decent defensible location, and the fact that I stunned this guy also helps me a lot. Although he might die anyway this turn. But I'm still really happy that I decided to attack this guy with this ranger, because this guy was not going to be able to do anything regardless. So if I finished him off, this would just not be beneficial to me at all. So my rangers actually decided to move forward a little bit for some reason. But either way, that's okay, because that's actually not okay. Oh, that's okay. I mean, no matter what, my rangers would be attacked. So it doesn't matter which rangers got attacked first, honestly. But all of them now died. And yeah, I think I was happy prematurely. I am going to lose this fight. Look at how powerful the Necrodons are. I'm not saying they are overpowered. I think that's good because Necrophages need those units. Their basic unit is very, very weak. It's an infantry unit, but similar to Star Wars from Broken Lords, but it's much weaker than the Star Wars for Broken Lords. Meanwhile, the Era 2 unit for Necrophages is a support unit that is very good when it can revive dead enemies to fight on their side. That's good, but it needs the enemy to be dead by then. So that's why you have Necrodrones, those very, very cost-efficient units that can just kill the enemy because the Necrophages kind of lack the ability to do so otherwise. So let's focus fire all on one drone. I don't want to do any more backing away. And I'll actually go for offensive action because if I have the initiative advantage. So if I do manage to snap those guys and only one guy is remaining alive, then I can actually win this fight. Somehow, I can't believe it. This fight is actually going to be a one fight, if that is indeed the case. But if it is the case, then it's better than 300, honestly. So anyway, I was able to neutralize the second to last thread, and the other Necrodrone is not even going to be able to attack this test. So yeah, I won. Wow! I'm really surprised. I have to admit, I didn't see this thing coming at all. I lost some units, sure, but I was expecting to lose all of them. So superior positioning can actually save you. I mean, and that's clearly what helped me. The high ground advantage, the fact that I was backing away my units while the enemy was assaulting me, that is what made me win the game. That alone made me survive, and that is how you play. Simple enough. Alright, so I've got a new army. I can now merge it with the old one. Now I have only one guy that can tank the damage, it's the Dredge. And I'll have to retrofit him as well to be able to do that efficiently. But this Dredge is now fairly tanky on its own right. And once I reach this city, I'll also reinforce this army with a 10A Walker. I'll need one of my Rangers, you know, to defend the city. And Mosha is obviously going to continue to grow with fish farms and whatnot. I guess I might as well make another Dredger first, just to have somebody in there in case somebody attacks me. It's not a very bad idea. I can move all my population to science. I would like to do so. Central market will be done faster now. Very good. I can make the watchtowers now. Do I want to? This watchtower will be very useful because the enemy keeps attacking me from over here. But I have more important things to create at this point in time. This army, do I want to back off? Slightly, yeah, I actually do. I will want to venture further only if I have a third 10A Walker. Then I'll feel safe enough to actually do anything ridiculous. I mean, good. I don't know what is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, this video is long enough to end it, but I want to get to a 10-100 before I end it. So let's make a deal. I'll end this videocast only after I enter 10-100 because it feels like a very nice round number. So we'll be able to reach 10-100 in what, 8 videos? Yeah, I think I'm doing fairly okay. Obviously, I could do things faster. If I wasn't explaining as much, if I was going for more auto battles, this game would have been going much faster. And even if I wasn't going on auto battles, just because I'm talking a lot and explaining a lot of things is slowing things down. So the game can be played, faster. If you don't have a lot of time on your hands, you can still play it relatively quickly. Anyway, winter is getting close. It can strike at any moment right now, which is kinda good and kinda bad. It's good because any reinforcement that the enemy sends in my way will be fairly slow and it will be severely delayed. The problem is that if one of my core cities are going to get attacked, which might happen as you can see, then I will not be able to send reinforcements fast enough to actually save those cities. So I'm taking a little bit of a gamble, but I'm willing to take the risk. I'm going to reinforce with the 10A Walker from Tooldry and start heading south and try to destroy one of the Necrophages cities. I need to do this. Those guys have way too much production for their own good, so I need to lower their production if at all possible. Let's end the 10. I'm more than happily willing to do just that. Let's see what it is that the enemy that is... oh wow. 6 riders. And they are actually sieging my city right away. I need to go back. I mean, those are riders. I should be able to kill them quite easily. Then again, I have no melee units. I will need to reinforce with the 10A Walker no matter what. Which is a big problem. I'll just station over here for the time being. But I do not dare attack. Sure, riders are fairly weak, but those guys have been reinforced with better weapons and possibly better armor. I may not be able to kill them before they reach my archer line, at which point it's It's a roulette, it's a Russian roulette on who kills who first. Those guys have very good initiative, so it could go either way. So I need at least one more infantry unit to block those guys. Obviously infantry is very vulnerable to cavalry attack. They are very weak, those Jeters do not stand a chance. They were made to, you know, take the damage from the necro drones, not from the riders. But with the 10 walker on my side, I think I'll be able to win this fight. The question is, will we be able to make it before the enemy wins the siege fight? I don't know. Thankfully, it doesn't look like the AI wants to assault me, because if they did assault me, they would just take over my city. So there is that. Some population grew somewhere, I do not really care all that much. I think I finished making steel houses, so that's nice. What do I want to do in this area? I could start exploring nothing because I don't have the tech for it. I could create a watchtower, there's no real reason to do that other than show you how it works. And I'm sorry, but right now I'm in a situation when instead of showing you guys things that aren't that impressive, you've seen watchtowers on screenshots a lot. I really need steel houses, so I'm gonna go for more steel houses. Now, I'm actually going to have a lot of influence by the time I reach a new era, so let's have a quick look at the Empire plan. Can I possibly go for more happiness and also go for more unit cost reduction, possibly? With 220 influence, yes, I will be able to do just that. So that's good. I don't even need to work on my influence. So I'm fairly happy with how this is going. My 10 walker is ready, and that's very good. Let's merge him with this army. I cannot do that because this army is actually too big. Alright, I'll leave one of the rangers inside the city, that's fine. And then the walker is obviously going to be merged with this army because I really need this kind of support. I need more units in armies. This is actually something I asked the devs to implement some time ago, is to increase the limit of units inside a single army, because I think it's too small right now. Obviously, you can have bigger armies just by having multiple... Right, I forgot. If I follow this army with another army, which I cannot because I used all my movement points, but whatever, if I did that, then I'll have reinforcements come into play. That's something important that I forgot about, yeah. Alright, let's do just that. You live and learn, I guess, even after playing this game for so long. Anyway, borrowed streets actually stopped for some reason. I don't understand why. I honestly do not. Why is that? I don't know. Oh wow, this city is actually producing very little population as well, and it's kind of strange. If I produce more food, then I produce less food? Apparently I'm producing so little food that the game has difficulties calculating how little food I'm producing. Well, that's embarrassing slightly, but that's okay. Alright. Do I have a good watchtower location? Actually, over here might be nice, because the enemy is coming from through here, so I might as well do something of the sort. And... oh, I know I cannot make... oh no, I actually don't. Never mind. Never mind, I don't know anything. I know nothing, Jon Snow. So anyway, let's make this watchtower over there and then make a few more ranges, which I cannot make because I don't have the resources for that. Apparently. Really? Let's have a quick look at the Dakari Rangers. No, I have the resources to make them. Why can't I... oh, I cannot make them because they're behind... no, I don't know. Huh. Is it because the city is so unhappy or so? And I've never seen this effect before. Oh, I know, that's because I have maxed out garrison in my city. So now, yeah, right. Now I can make cities, right. Because keep in mind, city garrison also has a limit to how many units you can have inside. Alright, so what do I want to do? I want to start moving down southeast and take out those waters. I think they only have one city, so if I destroy the city, they will never be annoying for me ever again. Obviously, so far, Volters, either the purple ones or the orange ones, did not really put up much of a fight. I was able to kill them very easily, and they weren't really threatening to me at all. But I would still like to kill them just to, you know, feel more at ease. It's, again, one more city that can be annoying to me that I would like to get rid of. Anyway, as for this city, I'm thinking actually about going for a watchtower just to have more vision, but I think what is more important is just having more production and possibly a fish farm. So let's do just that, and let's focus on food production as well to get more population ASAP, because I think I have the time necessary to do this. No enemies are nearby. There are some, but it's probably the broken lots, the only broken lots I'm not out of war with, so it's all good in the neighborhood. Still no winter, that's very good, makes me feel like I have a chance of not getting killed too soon. And yeah, those are just scouts, not a very big deal. So let's keep moving over there. If the scouts attack my rangers, I think it will pull my army into the battle as well as reinforcements. If that happens though, ooh, if that happens, they'll be pulled in one by one. But it doesn't matter, riders are very weak. And are they even upgraded? It's hard to tell from this angle, I'm not sure. Even though I should still be able to kill them very, very easily. So that's not a very big problem. You just continue heading over here in this general direction. I think I'll just put them on auto move. I can do so quite safely. If those armies are actually strong and they walk past more units, that's annoying, but it's again not something I'm terribly worried about, because those are not necrophages, and it's necrophages I mostly fear. The Brocalos already sent the majority of the forces my way, and this guy just body blocking me. Really? That's just rude. You don't do this. Anyway, let's go into auto. Yeah. Nothing happened. I took some damage as dredge. I don't think this would have happened if I didn't go for auto. So that's the one time when auto actually didn't work as intended, but I will not complain because usually auto is working fairly nice. So let's keep moving forward, make sure that I'll have reinforcements and kill those bastards. The enemy will have the high ground advantage, but it's still going to be okay. And it will probably be the final battle of this particular videocast. So let's go into manual, let's see what is going to happen. Obviously what is going to happen, we will deploy our troops and try to kill each other in a very, very brutal way. So this Tenary Walker is going to stay over there and defend my flank. Meanwhile, my Devils are going to stay a little bit further back and protect my Rangers. In fact, I'm going to move all of my Rangers down south because I can defend over there more easily. Like so-ish? Yeah, I'll also tell those Rangers to back off as soon as possible. So those Devils can just stay over here. Those guys will back off. Yeah, I think it will be fine. Let's ready up with the deployment. And the enemy, yeah, as I feared, those guys have actually fairly good initiative. And I forgot to go from hold position on all of my units, which is annoying. But it happens when you have bad memory. And OMG, I forgot, I also have those Rangers. I didn't notice them. Or maybe those are my reinforcements that just appeared right now. Either way, you guys venture as far back as humanly possible. Same goes for you. You just stand your ground, and you also stand your ground. The enemy will not have high ground advantage on me if I stand over here, which is good. So let's just stay over here. Those Rangers will die. I have no doubt about that. The enemy will be able to go past my units and just attack them. So that's fairly annoying. In fact, oh wow, they have a lot of movement. Yeah, that's the one good thing about riders. They can just walk forward and snap your units. And apparently they were able to kill almost all of them, but not even all. That's the weakness of riders. They have no damage whatsoever. I mean, sure, 39 attack can sound impressive, but that's mostly because those guys have a lot of weapons and armor. So I'm not horribly convinced by this unit. As I said many times before, if those Brocalos attack me with their 6 Stalwarts units, which have improved armor weapons, then I would be in a ton of trouble. I would most assuredly lose this fight. I'm still doing not too good. My devil numbers are diminishing, but they're still holding their ground, which is not something they would have been able to do against any other unit other than riders or whatever. So that's still okay. Unfortunately, because I forgot to move those guys away, or because they spawned, they're going to take severe casualties. But they were also able to inflict critical strike on the enemy, so that's very nice. And now the retaliation starts. Unfortunately, my Rangers mostly focus on the stun enemy, which is really dumb. But whatever. Something I need to ask the developers to do is lower the priority for the AI of attacking stun enemy, because there is no reason why you would want to attack stun enemy almost ever. Unless it's, you know that you will not be able to kill anybody else. But still, you don't want to attack the stun enemy, you really don't. So that's something. Anyway, I'm actually doing very well. I think that is going to be a one game. My Tenary Walker still has most of its life. My Rangers have taken quite a bit of a beating, but all the Riders are falling. Only one Rider unit is left still alive. So this is going to be an easy victory the way I see it. Obviously, Riders are by far the least impressive unit in the Broken Lord's arsenal. So let us actually focus fire on those guys. Everybody's going to attack them now, no matter what. Those guys have very low initiative. And they are dead. As simple as that. That was a very nice battle. I like this kind of battles because I do not lose anything. They look cool, and everybody is dead on the enemy side. Now, obviously in the future the game will have more additions. There will be some kind of spells that your units can cast, so they will be more visually appealing per se. You know what I'm trying to say. So that's that. However, right now I would still say that the battles look kinda cool. They are maybe not the fastest, I'm gonna give them that, but they are functional at the very least. Anyway, let us end this turn. Going to turn 100, I'll start my Empire plan. Central markets are ready, everything is good. Empire plan, let's go for extra happiness. Let's go for extra unit cost reduction. I could go for extra science on districts during winter time, which would be useful. Winter is actually about to start, but as you can see it costs 400. So that's not possible at all. So let's instead go for unit reduction. I will need that a lot. So let's go for that. And let's end my videocast, ladies and gentlemen. It was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Powder. If you somehow managed to enjoy my video, then please, by all means, like it. And do leave a comment as well. Comments help me a great deal, and I enjoy reading them a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you online.